Welcome to the first episode of Jobbercast, which is a pro wrestling podcast on this channel. And that's the intro we're going with, because I'm not restarting again.
I mean, it's your channel. I don't care.
With me is, you just heard, TeenagedKnight, my longtime friend?
Rival? Enemy?
Bitch?
I hate you.
I'm going to punch you in the face. We're sitting right next to each other. This probably, technically it's the second podcast we've recorded in person, but the other one just didn't come out.
Yeah, that was my bad. Audio got screwed up.
So I had this idea earlier, yesterday actually, because we're recording this on Wednesday. I plan on having it out on Thursday, hopefully, which might be the day that it always comes out. I haven't quite decided yet. But as I said before, this is a solely professional wrestling-based podcast. Nothing but professional wrestling for the next, 45 minutes to an hour.
Which I'm assuming means on the podcast over on my channel, it is now being taken out.
More than likely, yes.
Yeah,
unless there's something that we absolutely have to talk about.
Yeah.
Like if something happened, I just need to talk about it, which happens. I do it a lot.
Well, then we go off and ramble on that, which we will most likely end up doing on here too.
Well, let's start out by discussing our backgrounds in professional wrestling. Let's start with you, since you're kind of more recent to the.
I started watching, I believe the first Monday Night Raw that I watched from start to finish was the night after Del Rio pinned CM Punk for the title, cashing in his Money in the Bank.
So that would have been like 2012?
2011.
2011?
Yeah, and then the most notable title change to me was Punk winning and then keeping it for like over a year. So for the first 2 years that I watched professional wrestling, I just had CM Punk as a champion almost.
That is not a bad thing.
No.
As for my experience, I've been watching professional wrestling since, WrestleMania. That would be WrestleMania 2000, which would have been WrestleMania 16. Because I remember watching the hardcore title change hands 9 times in the matter of 9 minutes.
I believe that'd be 17.
What?
I believe that'd be 17.
Either way, it changed hands a lot at WrestleMania 2000. It was in one match. They had a whole match just dedicated to the hardcore title. And it was excellent. And I've grown with the sport and the art form and the business for over 16 years. I've watched it evolve. I've watched Stone Cold Steve Austin come and go twice. I've watched Shawn Michaels win his last world title in 2002 in the first ever Elimination Chamber. I remember the first Money in the Bank ladder match. I've seen all this stuff happen.
I think the first thing I actually watched of wrestling, though, was some dude that was living with my dad at the time had bought it and hooked it up to the living room, and I watched, I think, WrestleMania 22 or 23.
WrestleMania 22 was one of the first WrestleManias I actually bought on DVD.
I remember there was a bra and panties match. I was like 8.
I remember, because I think I probably did this in 99. There used to be a video rental store right down the street from my old house, and I would go to it, and I would always rent WrestleMania 14.
That's the year. Is that Kane Undertaker?
Yeah, that's the first Kane Undertaker battle, and the main event was Shawn Michaels. Was Stone Cold Steve Austin going over Shawn Michaels because Shawn Michaels had a bad back. That's why, for the majority of that match, it's just Shawn Michaels running away from Steve Austin.
Is that right after, or is that right before Shawn lost his smile?
I don't know if that's exactly the lost his smile thing. I think he did that earlier in his career.
Oh.
But because I remember the next night on Raw is when the new D-Generation X debuted, which had the Outlaws and Sean Waltman, aka X-Pac, aka the 1-2-3 Kid, aka Six, aka he had some other gimmick in WCW that didn't go over very well before Six. And it was.
Well, he had Sean Waltman over in WCW too, and then went to something.
Was he
else.
Sean Waltman in WCW?
Yeah, because remember that was the thing is they used their real names over there.
Oh yeah.
Kevin Nash, Scott Hall.
Yeah. That was the thing about the NWO that was always so funny is that literally everybody was in the NWO except for Bill Goldberg.
DDP. He joined, but then
yeah,
cuttered someone.
It's the second Goldberg debuted, everybody was in the NWO. The entire WCW roster was in the.
And he still didn't lose a match.
He still didn't lose. He still won over 100 matches in his WCW career. Didn't lose until 2003, even though he took a 3-year break in between the fall of WCW and the his debut on Raw.
Now, I've only been watching since like 2011, like the current product. But I have, like, because of the network, seen a bunch of the older stuff from, like, documentaries.
The network is a gift given from God.
The network is amazing.
I love the WWE. I've loved it from day one when even people were shitting on it. I was like, what are you shitting on? You got every pay-per-view ever in WWE history, and pretty much, I think, every pay-per-view from WCW and every pay-per-view from ECW. What more do you want? Like, they didn't even have to add all those Raws and stuff, and I was hooked.
Yeah. But the only thing I want to see is I want, like, whenever I first started watching wrestling, I didn't really understand, like, the storylines of it. I just always saw, like, I hated Del Rio, which makes him a great heel.
He was good at his job.
But I could not stand him. So I want to go back now and see if, like, I like Del Rio more, because now I like heels a little bit more, except AJ. AJ is probably my favorite wrestler.
Quote unquote heel.
Well, AJ's not technically a heel. AJ's...
Well, definitely not now that he's going to go against the club, but we'll talk about that when we get to Raw. But we're going to start off with what happened this Sunday at Extreme Rules.
Now, we did have a prediction thing over on my channel, and I need to go back and re-add the points because I forgot that something happened, and at first I thought I had won, but then I don't know if I actually added in that Lana interfered.
Okay, what was the first match? Was the U.S. title match the first match? Not counting the pre-show?
I believe the first match... No, it wasn't the U.S. title match. It was Usos versus Club.
Usos versus the Club. Yeah, that... I didn't care for it.
I thought it was an okay match, but I feel like they could have done a lot more. And also, they kept adding in, like, you know, the Usos left injured?
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to fast forward to the main event for just a minute. We'll obviously get back to the main event. But, like, they kept playing up at the end of the match that the Usos were hurt, and they could, like, that could affect if they come out during the main event. And it played no part in the main event. Like, them being hurt at the beginning of the show played zero part in them being in the main event.
I don't like the booking of the club.
I don't, like, they lost to the Usos, which...
By the way, we're going to be talking in almost complete industry terms. There is almost no kayfabe in this at all.
No.
We are talking about this from a complete business standpoint, which is the part I know best.
Yeah.
I don't like talking kayfabe.
But I just don't like the fact that they had them lose to the Usos. Like, I'm okay with the Usos. I like the Usos. The
Usos are fine.
They've gotten heat. Like, it seems like overnight.
Well, it's because now they're with Roman Reigns.
Well, their gimmick, like, they don't really have a gimmick. Their gimmick went from being Rikishi's kids to Roman's cousins.
Yeah.
Like, that's their gimmick, is that they are related to Rikishi and Roman and
their main thing is, like, using those guys' moves, like, because you see they use Umaga's moves too.
Yeah, the thing in the corner. And
yeah.
then who'd they take the super kick from?
Rikishi. Yeah.
Rikishi would super kick people.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. How did he get it?
He's probably the most athletic 400-pound dude I've ever seen.
Including Yokozuna?
Yokozuna wasn't athletic. He was just a fucking sumo wrestler. That dude, what did he weigh, like 600 pounds? Is that what we saw?
He was like 550.
He weighed more than the Big Show.
Yeah, he was...
And Yokozuna was only like 5'10", so...
He was massive.
He was huge. I remember seeing those old matches, like old highlight matches of him fighting Bret Hart at, like, I think it was WrestleMania 12 or WrestleMania 10, I think, or something like that. Bret Hart fought Yokozuna, and, like, they were the same height, but Yokozuna was like 4 Bret Harts. Are you looking it up now?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the, like, results.
Oh, the actual card?
Yeah, so we can remember the order of the matches. Because I want to say second was the United States title match,
But yeah, the club went over on the Usos,
which I was okay with.
The match was fine.
The ending was kind of, I don't want to say lazy, but it wasn't as good as it could have been.
A good bit of this pay-per-view was actually kind of lazy, which this is probably the best pay-per-view of the quote-unquote new era out of the, like, 3 pay-per-views there've been, if you count WrestleMania as part of the
I don't count WrestleMania as the new era because it was the night after where they started doing all that.
I don't like that they're pushing this new era. They didn't do that. Like, nobody was like, oh, in like 98. Nobody was like, oh, this is the Attitude Era. Like, they mentioned, like, Attitude was part of the slogan, but nobody straight up called it the Attitude. And Ruthless Aggression, that started with Vince McMahon with, like, a speech. He's like, I only want superstars with ruthless aggression. And
that just kind of evolved into the Ruthless Aggression era.
Which is my favorite era of wrestling. Because that's when you saw, like, a lot of these the big stars that are still here now pop up. That's when John Cena came in. And I know people aren't supposed to mention, but that's where Chris Benoit got really big, and like got Randy Orton, Evolution.
I mean, like you mentioned, Chris Benoit. We're not gonna shy away from talking about the bad stuff that has happened in wrestling. Like Chris Benoit, as horrible as a person he was a good wrestler. So, like, don't get me wrong, he's a horrible.
He's not gonna be in the Hall of Fame. He's definitely not gonna be in the Hall of Fame.
But like, we can discuss matches and stuff like that, and how Benoit.
Like I said, we're not gonna talk kayfabe. Chris Benoit still exists to us.
So does Hogan.
So does
Hogan has been wiped from the website.
So does and CM Punk also
Punk's still on the website though.
I know, but at least they stopped taking signs away and stuff like that.
Because it's like 4 years later. People need to. All right, I am fine with almost.
Okay, but the Chris Benoit thing was almost 10 years ago. It's been almost 10 years.
But that was a murder, not just someone leaving out of the company.
But it's been 10 years.
Yeah.
We can talk about it.
Yeah, but what I was gonna say is, like, I'm fine with people cheering, like, or chanting whatever they want. But can we please stop the CM Punk?
Let's stop the CM Punk chant. It's getting old.
It's been 4 years. Like, if he's coming back, he's coming back. If he's not, he's not.
We'll talk about that later. That's why I left that little blank in the topics list. But what was the next match? The next match was U.S. title?
Yes, Rusev went over Kalisto for the United States title.
Clearly. I honestly thought Kalisto might win.
They had been like building. Like,
he's been getting built. Really, they're pushing him. They're pushing him like they pushed Ray back in like 05, 06 when Mysterio cultivated with winning the World Heavyweight Championship and holding it for like 6 months.
Yeah, too bad he couldn't have that with the WWE title, but thanks, Cena.
That was fun.
Thanks, Cena. That was a fun day.
I mean, but he had two runs as the World Heavyweight Champion. That's more than half the roster gets.
Did he ever get an IC championship?
Yes, I do believe so.
So he is a Grand Slam champion.
Did he win the U.S. title?
Oh, he had to have, right?
I don't think so. He won the Cruiserweight. Back when that was a minor title on SmackDown.
Well, we'll count that. It's about as prestigious as the U.S. title right now anyway.
I actually like the Cruiserweight title a lot more than the U.S. title. I wish they'd bring back the Cruiserweight title. I hope...
that Cruiserweight Classic, that's what they're doing, I think.
I hope so. I haven't seen any of those guys. Are these like indie talents? Or
yeah, that's the way they're saying it's cruiserweight wrestlers from all over the world competing to see who's the best cruiserweight in the world.
So these are like indie guys.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Cool. I like that.
I like it.
I love that. I love it. I love seeing indie talent.
Flippy.
Yeah.
Flippy guys.
These are like if you like
Kalistos.
if you don't remember what cruiserweight is, cruiserweights are mostly under 200 pounds.
Yeah, so J&J Security.
Yeah.
The cruiserweight.
Except I think at that point Jamie Noble had to have weighed 200. That dude put on some weight.
Yeah.
But yeah,
did you like the Kalisto Rusev match?
I didn't like that it was basically a squash match.
It really Kalisto
you don't put squash matches in the damn pay-per-view. You do that on Raw.
I also think maybe the match was ended a little bit earlier than it should have because Kalisto hit that apron hard, and I think they just decided to end it there. I think it was supposed to go on a little bit longer, but they decided to just.
Well, either way, it was still going to be a squash match after that.
I mean, you could have got some offense in.
They were going there. This was a whole match to make Rusev, quote unquote, look strong.
I want. Can we talk about what I think is going to happen now that Rusev is champion?
What's he going to do?
Who's returning on Monday?
John Cena.
What is Monday?
Memorial Day. Are you saying John Cena's going to win the U.S. title on Memorial Day?
Cena's going to challenge Rusev for the U.S. title and walk out of Raw as the United States champion.
Are you sure he might just challenge him? It might be like a non-title match. Like
I don't know.
They'll build up for Money in the Bank.
Yeah, but it would just be like that's such a WWE thing to do is to like give this super patriotic John Cena the championship on Memorial Day over this evil foreign dude.
Yeah.
Is there a single foreign face in the company besides Cesaro and Zayn and them?
I was like, you just mentioned two of them there.
Besides the Canadians and Cesaro.
Also, Sami Zayn is also South African. He was born in South Africa.
I did not know that.
Kofi was is from Ghana.
Was he actually born there?
I think so, yes.
Okay.
He is from Ghana, South Africa. Or West Africa. Ghana's not South Africa.
Can we get a face from Russia? That'd be hilarious.
No.
That'd be funny.
That's been a thing since the Cold War. Is that the Russians?
All Russians are evil.
The Russians are evil. Like he had Nikolai Volkov in the mid to late '80s, and we had
Kozlov.
Yeah, and I forgot about Vladimir Kozlov.
I only remembered him because I was playing WWE Universe and I think WWE 12, and he was still technically in the game. and I won my match, and all of a sudden this huge dude comes up. I'm like, who is this? All of a sudden says, you've unlocked Vladimir Kozlov. I was like, I don't want to fight him. He's huge. Like, this dude looks terrifying.
He was like 6'6" and like 290.
A pure Russian.
Yeah, he was like the same size as Batista. He was like a white Russian Batista.
Okay, so you don't think that Cena's going to come back on Monday and win the championship, right?
He might. That is a WWE thing to do, but
if that doesn't happen, I'm saying Rusev holds the belt for like 2 months max.
He'll probably drop it at like SummerSlam.
Yeah, SummerSlam to maybe like someone who doesn't walk out of this Intercontinental title mess. Which I say mess. Those have been some great matches.
Yeah, those have been the best matches on the cards.
Yeah,
since WrestleMania.
Yeah, but I think if Cesaro walks out of this without the Intercontinental title, he'll go immediately for the United States. Or maybe he wins Money in the Bank. That'd be awesome.
That's the thing. Like, we know. Well, we'll talk about that when we get to Raw. But we know 4 of the competitors in Money in the Bank.
Owens, Jericho, Ambrose, and Sheamus.
Which one of those guys is probably gonna be the guy who wins? No, not Sheamus. No, Sami Zayn beat Sheamus.
So Owens, Zayn, Ambrose, Jericho. And then, can I spoil SmackDown? I already know who won.
Well, this airs on. This is going to air on. No,
Okay.
don't do it because
All
it's probably going to go up Thursday morning. So.
All right. Well, I'm not gonna say it out loud who it is, but I'll tell you afterwards. I was gonna tell you now, but I'll tell you afterwards.
So, after was the Intercontinental title match next?
No. Next will be the New Day
Oh.
over the Vaudevillains, and I thought the New Day's reign was over whenever they hit that, what do they call it, the whirling dervish or whatever on Woods. I was sitting there like jaw open on my computer, and I was like, they're gonna lose the tag titles right here.
I'm just gonna say this right now. If you don't like the New Day, you might as well click off this podcast right now because I don't want you watching any of my stuff. The New Day is the best thing in the WWE right now.
I mean, the New Day is really good, but I would say the best thing right now is the IC title picture.
They're like the New Edge and Christian, but there's 3 of them, and they're all 3 black, like the Black Edge and Christian, plus Kofi Kingston, I guess. Because Xavier Woods is definitely the edge of that group, not in the way of like being going to be successful, but like in his mic skills. He's like on the same level as like Edge.
Yeah, but I would also say I think Big E is going to have the most success out of
Probably. We say this, watch as Xavier Woods going to break out. He's going to be the breakout member of this group. He's going to be the Randy Orton.
See, everyone's underestimating Kofi. Kofi's going to win it.
But Kofi's the oldest of the group, though.
Kofi's going to take the title off Big E. E's going to win the World Heavyweight Championship or the WWE title. Kofi's going to cash in Money in the Bank and take it.
I tell you this every time. It's not about the factions run. It's about how they break up.
Exactly.
Like, go back to, like, mid 04, September of 04.
Mm-hmm.
That's when Randy Orton beat Chris Benoit for the World Heavyweight Championship. And that's when you start to watch Evolution start to crumble. And then Royal Rumble. Batista wins the Royal Rumble. He goes for Triple H.
Yeah.
And then eventually Triple H turns on Ric Flair.
I think the way they break up, I think Kofi's going to...
So
either Kofi or Big E's going to turn heel.
One of the 3 is probably going to win a world title.
And then they're going to turn like that.
Which would be weird, seeing how none of them are even close to being in the picture for the world title or for any singles title.
But they can put Big E in the picture very fast.
The people love all 3 of those guys, but Big E is definitely the most title worthy.
I mean, Kofi. I think
Kofi's had one main card feud in his entire like almost 10-year career.
Kofi does his job perfectly. He is a perfect mid-card guy. He's over with the crowd. He's decent in the ring. He is decent on the mic. And he can definitely, like, help out the tag division. How many times has he held the tag team titles?
Like 5 times.
Punk, Bourne, Truth, New Day twice.
Yeah.
So I think that's 5.
He's won it a bunch.
I think him and Truth might have had it twice.
Yeah. But
that was a weird tag team. They were only thrown together because they were both black.
I love how the 2 years ago, the tag team division was the worst thing in the world. The women's and the tag team divisions were the worst things on the show. Now they're 2 of the best things on the show.
Yeah, the tag division has been helped from New Day and then NXT. Like Enzo and Cass, Vaudevillains. And then, those new guys, the Dudleys.
Oh, yeah. Those guys should...
Coming from a WWE's new developmental called TNA.
And New Japan, apparently.
Yeah.
The developmental's out New Japan, and TNA and NXT.
What if it came out that WWE owned all of them?
That'd be a monopoly. That's impossible.
Are you sure?
They just don't own ROH or Lucha Underground.
Are you sure?
Lucha Underground's developmental is the WWE.
It really is. They just stayed there for a lot longer, like, they had Mysterio.
Yeah. They also have Johnny Mundo.
So how do you, like, the New Day won, obviously. Let's get back to the match because we keep going off track. The New Day won. How do you feel about that finish where Kofi got involved and he wasn't actually in the match?
Well, I mean,
like, to me, that seemed like a very heel thing to do.
That happens all the time, though, and stuff like that. Faces do that, too.
Also, they kept, like, I noticed Cole called it the Trouble in Paradise, but it was just like a kick to the head. It wasn't an actual Trouble in Paradise.
Yeah.
He hasn't used the Trouble in Paradise since they've started the New Day. Matter of fact, I want to say Big E is the only one that pins people.
It wouldn't surprise me. He's kind of he's I think probably the leader. And then
I would say Woods is the leader, like, legitimately. I think the whole thing was Woods' idea. Or Austin Creed or whatever his real name is.
Xavier Woods, PhD. His DMs are always open.
He just got married, too. And he's going out there saying that stuff.
It's funny, though.
It is hilarious, but it's also like, you just got married, dude.
My DMs are always open.
It's like whenever he was like, did he shout out to Beyonce? Yeah. Like during Extreme Rules, and then he tried to say that she slid up in his DMs, and Big E was like, "No, she didn't. No, don't lie. No, she didn't."
The Time Machine segment. Everybody shat on that Time Machine segment on the Go Home Raw.
See, I think Big E is really underestimated on the mic, like underrated on the mic, because like whenever they were doing the Time Machine, like my time. No, it's not. It's obviously an empty refrigerator box.
My Time Machine. I love the. Oh God, they stole Edge and Christian's Time Machine.
It was like New DeLorean. that was like that. I want to say is what Xavier.
I want to go to a Raw just so I can be involved in the New Day Rocks chant.
Really?
And whenever they do the WWE World Tag Team Champions, they are the most charismatic tag team in the last like 5 years.
I don't know what it is, but
them and Enzo and Cass.
I really like the Vaudevillains.
They really get that gimmick over.
WWE World, like where they sing it, like that is amazing.
I love like only the Vaudevillains, only Aiden English and Simon Gotch I think could get that gimmick over.
Can't wait till Enzo and Cass win it, and then Cass spells out the whole thing. WWE
I honestly don't know if they're ever going to get a World Tag Team Championship run.
I bet they will.
Because like I feel like they're going to split at some point, and either Enzo's going to be Cass's manager or whatever. Because that always seems to happen to good tag teams. Like, they might win it once and then never again. Because the Usos have only been World Tag Team Champions, like, what, once? Twice?
Yeah, once. I just remember, like, the old I think it was, like, either WWE 12 or 13, where, like, the tag team would never break up, but Jey Uso would get the world title and then just not lose it on SmackDown. That
happened to me with Finn Balor in the NXT title. Finn Balor would win it and then keep it for, like over 200 weeks.
It was ridiculous.
Finn Balor's been champion for 4 years. I'm bringing this guy up to the main roster when he loses this freaking title. You know who he lost it to on my game? He lost it to Zack Ryder. I sent Zack Ryder down to developmental.
That's what you get because Ryder's overrated. Like, he's higher rated than the developmental guys.
That's great.
Except Balor for some reason.
But he beat Balor.
Well, that happens. But you want to move on to the next match on the card?
Yeah.
Which was the Intercontinental title match with The Miz pinning Cesaro. After Cesaro ate like 4 finishers.
This match burnt the house to the ground and then rebuilt it, then burnt it down again. Let's talk about it from the start, the very beginning, the first move of the match.
The haluva kick right out the gate.
Sami Zayn just runs up, haluva kicks Kevin Owens right out of the fucking ring.
That was an amazing start. I started cracking up, and then whenever they cut to Miz,
that didn't crack me up. What cracked me up was the faces of Cesaro and the Miz, where they're just like, oh, he's not fucking around.
Like, he legit just, like, I guess they cut to Miz, and Miz goes like, you really want it that bad?
In the Miz's head, he was hearing JR's voice like, by God, that man's got a family.
No, Miz was probably hearing about all the people who have been criticizing him lately.
Which, usually, I don't like Fatal 4-Ways because it's too much going on at once. I usually don't like Fatal 4-Ways because usually it either turns into a singles match.
Because the other two get knocked out. And that's what happened at the beginning.
That's what happens. Or there's too much going on at once. But they did this. This was probably the best Fatal 4-Way I've ever seen.
Well, another thing at the beginning of the match that was really funny is that besides the haluva kick, like a probably 10 seconds later, Miz starts laughing at Owens, and all of a sudden Cesaro comes on screen and just like uppercuts the Miz. And then the Miz rolls out of the screen and it becomes a...
I figured that match was going to start with a 3-way uppercut. Like, Cesaro was just going to run at Miz, uppercut him, run over to Owens, uppercut, run over to Zayn. Zayn was either going to counter or take an uppercut.
But I did definitely not, like, expect that start. Just come out the gate. Haluva kick. Done.
Like, then I was like, I bet you Kevin Owens is going to win. Like, after that happens, like, Kevin Owens is going to be, like, knocked out for, like, the majority of this match.
And he's gonna
pop
up power bombs.
I thought he was going to steal a win, but it ended up being the Miz who steals a win,
which doesn't really surprise me.
He's a good heel. People hate the Miz,
but that means he's good at his job.
Like, he's good at his job. He's always been a really good heel. I don't think he's ever been a face his entire WWE run.
They tried it. Do you remember that?
Oh yeah,
where he tried that for like 4 or 5 months.
Nobody bought it.
Awful.
Because nobody bought it.
He still got booed. Like Miz TV, he even tried to be a face and still got booed. It was ridiculous.
Was that when he was trying to be Ric Flair's protege?
Yes. Where he tried to do the figure 4 and everyone's just like, stop.
They replaced him with Charlotte.
I mean, that's actually his daughter, so that one makes sense.
They replaced him with Charlotte.
Are we going to talk about that segment on Raw?
When we get to it. Did you not like it?
That was such a weird segment. It felt
That's what it was supposed to feel like.
Yeah, I know. But, like, I loved it, but I hated it.
It was supposed to be awkward. But like,
okay.
But yeah, somehow they get Miz over, which was great. That was probably the best match on the card.
Well, it took, I want to say, Cesaro took a fatal 4-way. I mean, a fatal 4-way. Oh my God.
He took a fatal 4-way.
He took an entire fatal 4-way. He took a Skull Crusher finale. I think he tried to blade his forehead at one point. Which, like, did you notice the 2 cuts that like randomly appeared? He
didn't blade. I think he took a legit. I think he took a hit at one point.
But it was like 2 like maybe like ringside Maurice like clawed him or something on the forehead for some odd reason.
I thought he would actually when was the last time we saw a crimson mask in the WWE?
Cena.
When was that?
WrestleMania like 25 versus JBL, I think.
Because I can't remember the last time I saw a legit crimson mask.
I think it would have been Cena JBL, the I Quit match.
Oh yeah, I miss crimson masks.
It's too PG now, though. They are like kind of going away from that.
They're doing a weird hybrid. That's what this new era kind of is. It's a kind of a weird hybrid of TV 14 and PG. I'm not editing that out. Fuck that. I'm keeping that in.
You need to edit that out.
I'm a professional unprofessional.
How are you? What?
That's my first T-shirt. Professional unprofessional.
Okay. But overall, what did you think of the Intercontinental title match?
It was match of the night.
I think it was. I wouldn't say easily the best match of the night.
Third month in a row.
Yeah, because at Mania,
it stole the show at Mania too.
Mania.
It's hard not to with it's hard not to with a 6-man ladder match.
Yeah, but it doesn't help when the rest of the card kind of sucked at Mania too. But everyone was out injured.
That's probably one of the worst WrestleManias in recent history. Honestly, at least card wise.
Even the booking decisions didn't make sense. Why have AJ lose his first pay-per-view? Like they build him up as like this top star, and then Vince was like, have him lose.
And then have Shane lose, but then it not matter at all.
Yeah. Which apparently that wasn't the original plan, but like after everyone was like mad that Shane lost, they decided to bring him back, and now it doesn't matter. But the next match on the card is the Asylum match.
This is pretty good too.
This is why I didn't say that the Intercontinental was easily the best match on the card.
I mean, it was good.
I think this one was. I think Ambrose Jericho is a close second.
Not bad for
a steel cage match with weapons.
Yeah, pretty much.
With some kind of like bland weapons. They also didn't use the potted plant, which...
That was the whole joke. Come on now. That started this whole thing.
I think that was the only thing left. They used the strap, they used the bucket, which had...
Mitch's little brother, or whatever they said.
Yeah. They used the strap, they used the mop, they used the...
straight jacket.
Kendo stick, straight jacket.
The bucket.
The bucket, which had tacks in it, which was...
Oh, that's so good.
The second he, pulled it out, I was like, oh my god.
It was like the second he pulled a bag out, I was like, I've seen that bag 100 times. I know exactly what's in that bag. That is a
Dean Foley.
That is a tack bag.
And because, the announcer trying to play off like they didn't know what it was. Like, JBL, I'm 90% sure you have seen that bag in ring.
I was like, JBL, I'm pretty sure you've been thrown to thumbtacks more than almost anybody else in this company.
Besides Foley.
Besides Mick Foley.
Foley has easily got that one covered. Didn't Randy go into attacks at one point?
At Backlash 2004, yes. One of my favorite pay-per-views ever.
Didn't he RKO Foley into the tax?
No. What happened was Randy was going for the RKO. Foley pushed him into the tax.
Oh,
like
okay.
he shoved him off the RKO, and Randy just landed smack on the tax.
Because like
It's also the greatest reaction I've ever seen Randy have because it's like pure, like it's real pain.
like okay, I love the RKO, but it's also like whenever he does it in ring, it looks good. But whenever he does it on any hard surface or anything, it's like you're hurting yourself when you're like, okay, you're gonna RKO someone onto steel steps. You're slamming your shoulder blade onto steel steps, and they're still just hitting your shoulder. Like that's not adding anything to their pain.
Well, I mean, the rest of their body hits the steel steps.
Yeah, but then Randy's got a busted shoulder, which is probably why he's out for injury.
When does he come back?
They said he's supposed to be back around the same time as Rollins, Cena, and
Because
Wyatt's supposed to be back soon too.
oh, I'm so excited for Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt is, you know what? You were asking me earlier who my favorite superstar is. I actually think my favorite superstar might be Bray Wyatt.
I just wish they'd book him better because
They need to stop having him fucking lose.
I don't think he's won a match since like I think the last time he won a pay-per-view match was the pay-per-view before he faced John Cena at Mania.
Did your phone just okay Google?
Yeah, I did. Did you not? Thank you.
Okay Google.
Cancel. Doesn't work.
What is he saying? What is she saying?
You canceled something on my calendar. I had nothing on my calendar, so it's okay. But
I think you just got fired.
hopefully not. But okay. So how did you like the ending of the Asylum match?
That was probably the. I didn't expect that ending at all. I didn't expect Tax to come out because Tax means blood.
Yeah.
Did you
And
notice?
Jericho
Did you notice on Raw the next night when they showed him going to the Thunderdeck and went black and white? Didn't want to show the blood.
Because on the network they can show whatever they want.
Yeah.
Which is why have you noticed that Camp WWE does not air on their like whenever you open it up it's only on demand. They never actually play it like over the live.
I've still only
part
seen
of
the first episode. I liked the first episode, but I still haven't gone back and watched the other
it.
ones.
It is a hilarious show.
I've heard a lot of people don't like it. They said it like.
It does try a little bit. It's the same guys.
That's what I felt. It was like if I felt like it was trying too hard.
It's the same guys who wrote Family Guy, which you don't like Family Guy.
I don't like Family Guy at all.
It's
I thought it was Seth Green who's making it.
Does he not write Family Guy?
No, he writes Robot Chicken, which is funny.
Oh, wait, who am I?
You're thinking of Seth MacFarlane.
That's who I'm thinking of. But anyway, yeah. Sometimes it tries a little bit too hard, but easily the best character in that show is Vince McMahon.
I love to, like, the Triple H character is like me doing my Triple H impression.
Yeah, because like someone on the subreddit they were talking about that. Like he goes, John Cena.
John Cena.
Like he says a lot after.
That's why I was like, if he said John Cena, that would be never ending because it's like it already ends with an John Cena.
CM Punk.
I can't do Triple H for too long because I get a tickle in my throat. I used to do Triple H all the time. In the game.
What's the other impression that you can do really well?
Macho Man.
No, it's one that you can hold for a while. I think it's Morgan Freeman.
No, I can do Macho Man forever, but my voice suffers from it a day later.
Yeah. Okay, so the next match on the card, if you want to move on, was Charlotte defeating Natalya by submission, which
with the help of Dana Brooke.
I loved the match, hated the ending.
It was another lazy ending. Like I said, this period had a lot of lazy endings. I did like the way Dana Brooke came in though with the fake Ric Flair get up. It was pretty funny. It was funny. I didn't expect it to be Dana Brooke though. I didn't know who it was going to be.
I thought whenever she turned around at first it was Lana, and I'm like,
yeah.
And even once she took off the robe and it was like, it's Dana Brooke, I was still like, on doing like I don't know, but it was really weird. Like I don't get that. Like I guess they hired Dana Brooke to like interfere since Rick couldn't.
Well, she was gonna like.
You thought Bret Hart was gonna interfere.
I did, because Dana Brooke was originally gonna feud with Becky Lynch, but Becky Lynch is hurt. She just got hurt, like 2 months ago, or not 2 months ago, like 2 weeks ago. I don't know exactly what's wrong.
No,
with
Emma
her.
got hurt.
No, Becky Lynch is hurt too. She just got hurt. Like I think she just got hurt at a house show. It's not like a major injury, but it's gonna keep her out for like a couple weeks.
Well, that sucks considering Becky's like my second favorite diva. Or I didn't just say that.
Women.
Second favorite women's wrestler right now. First being Paige, even though Paige has been just shoved down the card.
I don't understand that. which I love. Natty's probably my favorite in the women's division. Her and Charlotte. Because those like Natty is an actual technical wrestler. I love technical wrestlers.
And that's she was trained by the Hearts.
That's what Natalya is. She's a Neidhart, but
still Hart, same thing.
Which Jim Neidhart was married to Bret Hart's sister. So
someone said like with the amount of time or the amount of times that Natty has used Bret, I'm pretty sure Natty has convinced herself that Bret Hart is her father. Yeah. Because she never they never have her involve her actual father, which is Jim Neidhart.
Yeah, Neidhart. Jim the Anvil Neidhart, part of the Hart Foundation.
Yep. Along with I feel like we should just not mention the other guy just to mess with people.
Who? David?
No.
David Hart Smith? Oh, not David Hart Smith.
Dude fell from the rafters.
Oh, Owen Hart?
Yeah. We should just...
Owen Hart wasn't a part of the Hart Foundation.
Really?
It was...
His name is Owen Hart and he wasn't part
of
it.
Because he wasn't around then.
Oh.
He didn't debut until like 97, 98.
How long did he wrestle?
In WWE, he only wrestled for a couple years because he died. He died in 99.
Oh.
He debuted in like 96, 97, died in 99.
Oh, dang. Okay.
But he was very effective in those like four or 5 years he was around.
So I think me and you kind of agree on the women's match. Great match, lazy ending.
Really crappy ending.
So now, moving on to the main event. Roman Reigns defeating AJ Styles.
The laziest ending of the night.
Is
they virtually copy-pasted the ending, except now AJ was in midair.
With no armband.
With no armband. It's like the people's elbow. The people's forearm.
Yeah. And the thing was, like, at first, whenever I saw the ending of the match, I was mad. Because I was like, really? Like, Roman kicks out of 2 Styles clash, 1 on a chair. Okay, here's another thing. I don't care who it is. If you get hit with 2 finishers back-to-back, 1 on a chair, no one should kick out of that.
Unless you're John Cena.
No, not even Cena should kick out of that. If he took 2 RKOs on a steel chair, even though, once again, we're going to go back to that, makes no sense. If he takes 1 RKO and then another on a steel chair, like a minute later, even Cena shouldn't kick out. I think how many GTS did Punk hit him with to defeat him?
Like 4, 3 or 4.
Really?
And the money? Are you talking about Money in the Bank?
Yeah.
I think it was like 3.
I thought it was just 2. Well, I don't know. I didn't like that's another problem I have is like the current product is like finishers aren't finishers anymore. Like I understand on pay-per-views. Like if you want to do it on pay-per-view, fine. But people are kicking out of finishers on Raw, which is stupid.
In mid-card matches.
Yeah. And it's getting stupid unless it's a squash match.
I hope that happens in a squash match. Which I don't know if you know how squash matches actually work, where the person who's getting jobbed doesn't actually know what's going on. He just knows how it ends. He knows they're gonna hit you with like, say you're jobbing out to Kevin Owens. You're like, okay, Kevin's gonna hit you with a pop-up powerbomb. When he hits you with that, you stay down. You don't kick out.
Yeah. The rest of the time, they're just taking a beating.
Yeah, they're like...
Until Owens decides, all right, yeah, we're done here.
Like, they'll give Owens, like, okay, you have 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And in 5 minutes, you hit him with a pop-up powerbomb and you pin him.
Yeah.
Which, if you notice that the referees have earpieces,
yeah,
the referee is giving instructions to Kevin Owens and those guys.
So they're telling him, like, you got like a minute left, you got 30 seconds left.
Like, because usually
Does Undertaker just ignore that?
I think so.
Because people say Undertaker goes over all the time.
Yeah. Well, every single one of his Mania matches in the last, 5 years have been 30-plus minutes.
Well, okay, there was, I think someone on Reddit was talking about, how, he always goes over, and they said there was a thing on Total Divas where, their WrestleMania match at, I think, 30, where he got the streak broken. How if that match went over, 5 minutes, the Divas match was getting cut.
Oh, God.
Because they screwed up, almost every match on that card went over. Except Taker Brock. That ended up not going over.
Brock got over, though.
Okay, so back to this. Did you like how the match was? Not before the ending.
To be honest, I skipped half the match. I didn't want to watch it.
Did you see...
I am not entertained by this feud. I was not entertained by this feud
I'm entertained by the feud because AJ can carry a match on his own. But then people... whenever I first saw it, I was mad. I was talking about...
You didn't watch AJ Styles like I did. I watched TNA back when it first started. I know AJ Styles. I've seen AJ Styles wrestle 1.5 billion times.
I've only seen him a handful of times.
I know how his matches go. I know in the middle of it he's gonna hit him with a Pele kick. He's probably gonna hit him with it again later on if it's a long match.
He did not hit a Pele kick in that.
And I know he's probably gonna hit a phenomenal forearm at some point. He's going to miss a phenomenal forearm at one point.
Did he hit the phenomenal forearm? Like, did he use that in TNA? I don't remember that.
I think so.
I just remember the Styles Clash.
Because like I know, like he's going to hit one, and he's going to miss one, almost always. In a main event match, he's going to hit one, he's going to miss one, and the miss one usually costs him, if he loses.
Did you see the one that he hit in the main event?
I don't remember.
They were back brawling by the pre-show panel, and he got thrown onto a table. And then Roman was trying to recover and stood up, and AJ hit him with a phenomenal forearm.
I skipped to the last 10 minutes of that match. I just didn't care. I just wanted to see the ending, and I wanted to see what happened afterwards.
Yeah, that was... But, okay, so back to where I was going to go, where, people were upset that Styles lost off one spear. I don't think people realize Styles went through 2 tables. He took, I think, a Superman punch at one point. Yeah, because he was going for the phenomenal forearm and took a Superman punch mid.
See, that's the way these matches should end. That is a knockout punch.
And then he was also speared at one point in the match. Did you see that before?
I know he was speared in the middle of a phenomenal forearm, which is fucking lazy.
There was a point where they were outside the ring, and Roman jumped over the steel steps and speared him. And so he took 2 spears, went through 2 tables, took a Superman punch, and then finally a second spear kept him down.
It was basically a copy paste.
But he also kicked out of the Usos finisher.
It was a copy paste of the last ending, except this time AJ was in midair.
Yeah, which is how I thought the first one should have ended.
That's what I told you. That's how the first one should have ended, with a midair finisher.
But how else are you gonna? You know how else you could have ended it? By having whoever returned run out at the end of the match.
Yeah.
Then you still have. Maybe give AJ another shot, but could you imagine,
Please let that feud die.
No, so in case people haven't watched, which if you haven't watched by this point, it's kind of your own fault. Even if you haven't watched Raw, then you know who came back. They should have had Rollins run in mid-match. Then they should have had him get Reigns DQ'd, and then had a triple threat at Money in the Bank between Reigns, Rollins, and Styles.
I was just ready for this Reigns AJ thing to
I just want to see Styles wrestle Rollins. Please let me have this.
Because we're not going to get.
We're not going to get Styles Punk in WWE.
That'd be great.
I mean, we might at one point, but I highly doubt it's anytime in the near future.
They're both old.
But it'd be an amazing match.
CM Punk's 37.
CM Punk's 38.
38.
AJ Styles, I believe, is 36.
He's only 36? With that mom-ass haircut?
Yeah. I believe he's only 36. He's around the same age as John Cena, and Cena's 37 or something.
All right, well, but then at the end, or afterwards, you got Roman celebrating the darn it.
It didn't hit.
It didn't?
The
No, it
music
didn't.
did not hit.
It hit on Raw. That's what happened.
Yeah.
It should have.
The music should have hit.
That music,
but you could tell what was
hot.
happening because Reigns was he grabbed the title, and all of a sudden the crowd popped, and I'm like, are they piping in crowd noise? And then it immediately clicked in my head, someone's out. It's either Balor or Rollins, and all of a sudden Rollins comes in the ring. I'm mad he got rid of the blonde streak in his hair, but I don't know. I just added a lot to me for some odd reason. I like the blonde streak, but he comes up and attacks Reigns and hits him with the pedigree, which I still find hilarious that he uses as a finisher. That is he's supposed to be Triple H's protege, so I'm fine with him. A lot of people don't like it. I'm fine with him using the pedigree. Because he's Triple H's protege, plus they banned the curb stomp. So, I mean, I wish he had another finisher besides the pedigree. I wish he had something else that he could use. Which, it's Seth Rollins. He does. They should just let him use the curb stomp. Honestly.
No, we're going to transition. We're going to kind of go a little bit quicker through Raw. Because Raw isn't as heavy.
Yeah.
That transition to Raw, where he comes out, the opening segment of Raw, starts out with this really face-like promo, and then immediately turns on the audience. It was excellent. Jesus Christ, somebody's about to come through my ceiling. So,
okay, but where he came out as a face, and then I guess he was still technically heel, but then he showed that halfway through the promo, and that line that was my knee buckled under the weight of carrying this freaking company on my back.
And then he starts talking about the fans. Starts actually getting boos.
He is such an amazing heel. But I really wish they would have just rode this. Let Roman get booed, let Seth get cheered, have him as a face.
No, they're not. I don't think Seth Rollins will ever be face for the next like 3 years. Kind of like Triple H.
Well, not anymore. He'll have a face run whenever the Shield reunites like DX did, and they'll be.
But DX was never heels. They're supposed to be, but they weren't.
Well, the
Shield actually got booed
for a little bit, but near the end of the run, they were getting cheered.
But they didn't do like a New Day thing where the New Day actually turned face.
Yeah.
The Shield was heel through and through.
If the Shield was just Seth and Dean, they would have been getting cheered.
Yeah.
Roman being in that faction made them get boos, and WWE should have realized that. Because the second they split, Rollins was getting cheered, and Reigns was getting some cheers before he, was forced down our throat. So
I don't mind Roman Reigns.
I don't mind Roman Reigns, but I wish that they had built the championship up a little more.
Nobody
in a year he's been a 3-time champion.
It's about what could have been, because he was the replacement for Daniel Bryan.
Yeah, and they should have used Ambrose or Rollins for that.
And they didn't like the fact that whoever was in that place was probably gonna get booed anyway, because they were replacing the fan favorite, the top guy really, in Daniel Bryan, the best technical wrestler in the company.
They were technically replacing the 2 top fan favorites, because Rollins really replaced Punk, but he took it and ran with it. Reigns kind of got screwed on that because he had to replace the lone fan favorite. But people already loved Rollins because how good he was in ROH and the Indies and stuff like that. So
people love those indie guys.
AJ, Dean, Seth, Balor,
Samoa Joe.
But he was really like TNA there for a while.
But he's huge in ROH.
Can't wait for Abyss to finally join WWE.
No,
that's never gonna happen.
Abyss isn't even. Abyss can't wrestle.
He's gonna go down with the ship that is TNA.
He's probably one of the only people left who was there on like the first show.
Probably, I think he actually is.
Kind of like Kane.
Yeah, how Kane's been there for forever.
Which is funny because he's like the copycat for Kane.
Really is, just not as good. He's like if Kane and Undertaker had a baby.
He's like if Kane couldn't wrestle.
Or Kane and Mankind.
Like if Kane couldn't wrestle. Because Mick Foley, he isn't a wrestler. He can do something.
He's an entertainer. Abyss is just kind of...
Abyss is shit.
Oh, God. Do you remember that stupid storyline where it was like Abyss's brother, but it was really
Abyss? Yeah, it was Abyss.
It was so stupid. I hated that story so much. The only one worse was Aces and Eights, where they tried to copy NWO, but massively failed.
Every company has their NWO. Like, WWE had DX and NWO later on.
They also had Nexus, which...
Yeah. New Japan has the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
Which apparently everybody's in the fucking Bullet Club, too.
There's a lot of people in there. And they're, like, in multiple companies. Like, they've got a guy in ROH. They've got a bunch of people over in New Japan. They've got a guy in TNA.
They've got people in the WWE, but they're not called the Bullet Club.
They're just called the Club because the WWE's
Was Shinsuke Nakamura in the Bullet Club? Because he does the thing with Balor every once in a while if they do it at a house show.
I don't know if he was in the Bullet Club or not. I don't think he was. Because whenever I was looking at the wiki, the former members were Gallows and Anderson, AJ, and Prince Devitt, which is
Finn Balor, yeah.
So
there wasn't much like this Raw. This was a really good Raw, but not much happened.
Like it was a good Raw, but like you said, there wasn't a whole lot of like story progression. But that could have debuted Balor. That would have been an amazing, like just like that tense.
I mean, we got all the Money in the Bank stuff. Those were pretty good matches. Like Apollo Crews had a pretty good match with Chris Jericho.
Besides that botch that he did on the Moonsault or whatever, or Lion Salt, whatever.
I really like Apollo Crews.
I like Apollo Crews mainly because he looks like Wayne Brady, but also because he's athletic. Like he's a big athletic dude.
He's like a more athletic Bobby Lashley, because Bobby Lashley was super athletic.
It's like Bobby Lashley's body, but with the athletic of Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's like a weird hybrid between Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley
and Wayne Brady.
In
the face, he looks exactly
like Wayne
Brady.
But now it looks like they're giving him an actual feud, because it looks like he might actually feud with Sheamus.
That would be interesting.
I would like to see him feud, and not just.
I just like the thing was like, you think you're part of the new era, and beats the crap out of him. Like 10 minutes later, he comes out smiling, like nothing happened. Like someone said, there was a Reddit comment that said like, it was a thing that said Sheamus, and it was like, I'm gonna beat the happiness out of the new era, and then Apollo like, LOL, no sell. So that was pretty funny.
What would have happened had he gone over Chris Jericho?
The fans would have lost it.
I don't think so, because the fans really, a lot of fans really like Apollo Crews.
When is Jericho gonna leave again?
Probably after Money. I would assume after Money in the Bank.
Because this is like the longest he stuck around.
Either Money in the Bank or SummerSlam. Except for when he first came back in 2008.
Well, yeah, like...
He stuck around for like 2 years.
Was Fozzy a thing then yet?
Yeah, Fozzy's been a thing since like the early 2000s.
Well, I just like how during the Asylum match they kept saying, that's the lead singer of Fozzy. It's like, yeah, we're really losing a great musical group there.
Yeah.
I mean, they're okay, but like, I mean, I'm not going to cry if they don't release an album for a while. I don't even have any of their songs, actually.
I don't either. Don't feel bad. I've been a Chris Jericho fan for like 10 years. I don't have a single Fozzy song.
Do you have any of Jeff Hardy's?
No. Fuck that.
Because they are all awful.
Terrible.
Do you have his old theme, his WWE theme?
I do. Are you talking about the...
No More Words.
No More Words, I do. I like that song.
I do too. I have them on PS3, so whenever I play my old WWE games, I can like set it as this custom entrance music, which I wish they'd bring back. Because if that's not in 2K16, you can't add like custom music to someone.
You can't do a lot of things in these games nowadays. But what else happened? We had the Charlotte Ric Flair segment.
That segment,
so excellent.
It was excellent, but also really like
you could tell.
I wanted to change the channel because I wanted to change the channel, but I was like, I can't stop watching this.
You could tell Charlotte was letting out some like real emotion there. Like she was gonna cry. Talk about like how she hadn't seen her dad in like 10 years, like kind of thing. Like where she didn't see him that often.
Can't wait for Ric Flair to slap her on the sharpshooter.
The sharpshooter?
Yes.
Ric Flair's gonna put Charlotte in the sharpshooter?
Yeah. I know he does the figure 4. I'm gonna say he puts her in the sharpshooter.
Would you call it a sharpshooter?
What? What did you just say? All right. Well, this is done. I quit.
Okay. We had all the Money in the Bank matches. Nothing really happened on this other than the Money in the Bank matches.
And AJ setting up a feud with the club.
Where he dropped the "It's not you, it's me" line on the club.
But okay, like that segment where he was like, "But it's my ring now," or something like, "So you need to leave," would have been a perfect moment for Balor's music to hit.
He's probably not gonna debut till either Money in the Bank or SummerSlam. SummerSlam would be the best, like a quarterly pay-per-view. Would be a great place for someone like Finn Balor.
They've also got to give him. He probably get a month up because the next NXT takeover is like June 8th, I think.
Where he's gonna lose.
He's gonna lose, and then once Joe drops the title, like whoever drops the title, essentially is moved up to the roster within the next like 2 or 3 months. So I think he loses.
Who's Joe gonna drop it to? Probably nobody except like maybe Shinsuke Nakamura, but probably nobody that's on the roster right now.
I'd say Nakamura.
Because those guys tend to be champions for a couple good 3 or 4 months, 5 months.
Nakamura, Austin Aries.
I'm not sold. I've never been sold on Austin Aries.
Whenever he was in TNA, I looked at him as like the Punk of TNA, but not as good in the ring.
I've never been sold on Austin Aries. Let's say bring in like James Storm.
Which they tried that, and then TNA was like, "Here's more money," and Storm was like, "Bye."
Or Bobby Roode.
They had Roode in there for a while, but then like took him out for some reason. I don't know what that deal was.
I like those. I like Storm and Roode. Those guys were really good.
I think the thing with Storm, if they bring him in, he's gonna have to change his finisher.
What, the super kick?
Yeah, because they don't want anyone else using that as a finisher.
Dolph?
He doesn't use it as a finisher. He hasn't pinned anybody off the super kick in a long time.
When was the last time Dolph pinned somebody?
Do you like that whole thing about Dolph? Like, he must have heard online or saw online that people think he's Shawn Michaels, and now he like wears tights and tunes up the band. I
like tights. I'm
fine with the tights. I don't like him tuning up the band.
I mean, he didn't do that often. That was one of the only
times
I've seen him do it.
He's done that every time. He did it at Mania.
He did it at Mania and did it against Corbin. Other times I've just seen it come out of nowhere.
Like, he does it, and it's just weird. Like, I don't like it. Like, maybe if they had, like, some sort of storyline where, like, okay, Rollins does the pedigree because he was Triple H's protege. If they had Michaels come back and, like, mentor Dolph Ziggler for a while, that would be amazing. But
I think there's a curse associated with Shawn Michaels trained students. They never seem to make it, or in the case of Daniel Bryan, got hurt. Lance Cade didn't make it. Garrison Cade didn't make it. Trevor Murdoch didn't make it. Lance Kendrick didn't make it. Daniel Bryan got hurt.
Daniel Bryan doesn't really claim that Shawn Michaels taught him. Like, he went to the Shawn Michaels wrestling school, but he said whenever he got to developmental, he more says Regal taught him.
That seems like, but almost nobody trained by Shawn Michaels has made it.
Was Triple H not train him at all? I mean, I'm sure Triple H taught him some stuff because he was still using the Hunter Hearst Helmsley gimmick whenever he first was like, dude, you gotta stop.
Yeah.
Like, please. Which, Did you think the Sandow original gimmick ripped off that Hunter's Home gimmick really bad?
Like, everybody's so fascinated with goddamn Damien Sandow. I just didn't see it.
He's a technical wrestler, and the internet loves technical
Well, so do
wrestlers.
I.
But he's also tremendous on the mic. I don't know why you didn't like Sandow. Technical wrestler, good on the mic.
I've seen almost every single one of his matches. I just don't care.
I think what really would have helped him is had he actually cashed in the Money in the Bank and won the world title. I think that would have helped him. But he tried, kayfabe. I go to kayfabe for a second. Don't cash in against John Cena. It's not a good idea. I mean, Edge did it, but that's Edge.
Thinking that was also after an elimination chamber.
And Cena had a Crimson Mask, I'm pretty sure, right?
He had a Crimson Mask.
And Edge didn't care.
Edge don't care. Edge don't care about your blood. Edge don't care about AIDS. He's gonna screw the shit out of you.
Do you think Edge is like the greatest heel, like in that company, in a while?
Like, he was pretty damn good, but
like go back to I'm saying beginning of Attitude Era. Who was the best heel in the company?
probably either The Rock or Steve Austin. Austin had a really good heel run.
But he did the heel run so well, he got cheered, and then they turned him. Or are you talking about
Not
after
really.
he turned heel after he was that massive?
Like,
face?
I'm talking about like when he joined the NWO. Or the Alliance.
Oh,
The Alliance.
I'm about to say, hold on.
Which had the NWO in it. When he joined the Alliance. He got booed out of the fucking building every night. But he was still so damn good at it. Like, he was getting the Roman Reigns treatment.
Whenever he originally debuted, and he was just flipping middle fingers and stuff, he was supposed to be a heel, but he got over.
No, not at the very beginning. Not until he's feuded with Vince McMahon when he turned face.
Oh, I thought he was supposed to be heel.
Do you think Mr. McMahon is supposed to be a face?
No, I just thought he was supposed to be heel, and then they realized he's getting cheered, so they're let's turn him face and put him against McMahon.
No, the whole thing when he beat Jake Roberts and won King of the Ring, he was completely heel, getting booed, stuff like that.
Wait, he was King Stone Cold?
Well, nobody had that. Nobody did that gimmick back then.
King Booker was the first one to do that,
Yeah.
wasn't he? Did you like
stupid? It was stupid, but it worked for some reason.
So the New Day.
Yeah, it's like the New Day. Stupid, but it works.
And Enzo and Cass, it's stupid, but it works.
I honestly think I was listening to Going in Raw, which is the Steven Larson wrestling podcast, and they were talking about how Cass keeps a straight face, or I actually think that's how Enzo is, and Cass just deals with it on a daily basis.
It wouldn't surprise me. I'm pretty sure Enzo's gimmick is that he's a crackhead.
I think Enzo's gimmick is that he's Enzo Amore.
I mean, I love Enzo.
I mean, Enzo returned. That was a big thing that happened. Enzo came back.
I was really hoping that he would have returned at Extreme Rules. There was that. Have you seen the pre-show at all?
I saw when they replayed it during the show.
Where Cass came out and started getting beat up. I thought that Enzo was going to come out at that point.
I just love at near the end of Bubba Ray and Big Cass. Cass Enzo was running at Cass. Cass takes him and throws him at Devon.
Yeah, that was really fun.
That's probably one of the best tag team moves in the world. He just picks up Enzo and throws him.
That's their finisher.
I know.
Is he tags in Enzo and then he lifts Enzo up and
Well, this one him lifting him off the.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Picking him up and tossing him like a football at Devon Dudley.
It was hilarious.
I mean, come on, man. Devon's 50 years old. Give him a break. Don't throw a cruiserweight at him.
Whenever he first came out, everyone on Reddit was like, "Has he been cleared to wrestle?" And then all of a sudden, Cass is throwing him. It's I'm hoping he's been cleared to wrestle. It's Vince made him sign something that said I will not get into any altercation outside first 30 seconds. So
I hope not Enzo. I hope Cass has a very successful singles career in sometime in the next few years.
Did I actually touch a button again? I probably did. His Xbox is right beside me, and I've turned it on twice since I've been here. But I think that's really all that happened at Raw. I mean, what was the main event?
Styles Owens, which was really good.
That was match of the night.
It was a pay-per-view. It was a pay-per-view style match. That match lasted 15, 20 minutes.
That match lasted a while, and I was expecting outside interference, but it never came. And he pinned Styles clean.
He did.
And then people are immediately going Styles is being buried, and I sent you but why? But I'm fine with Owens winning. I was fine with either one being in the Money in the Bank match. And people were Styles is getting buried. It's did you not see that segment before the match?
I say the reason AJ isn't in the Money in the Bank is because he's going to get involved with the club.
And probably being a hand. I just got a really good idea in my head. What if, like, it's Club versus AJ and a mystery partner, and that mystery partner is Balor, and he turns on AJ?
Oh my god. Everybody would see that coming, though.
It's Shinsuke.
Shinsuke. Or,
Meet my other friend from Japan.
This one's actually Japanese.
Yeah, because they said, like, it was during, like, Raw, and it said, like, imagine a casual fan watching be like, AJ's two friends from Japan, it's these two big white dudes. It's like, what? And, like, AJ's friend.
Here's my friend from Mexico. It's Shinsuke Nakamura.
Oh, that'd be amazing. But I think that's really all that happened on Raw.
Let's talk about the this second biggest news now. Something else was announced this morning, Wednesday morning. Cody Rhodes and Eden have split, or not split as a couple, but split from Raw or WWE in general.
And I guess Cody just felt he wasn't being used correctly, and that started
It was kind of that. Did you see the statement, the thing you put on Twitter?
No.
He was talking about he went to creative multiple times, wanting to return as Cody Rhodes, and he was just kind of being ignored for like a year and a half. And he called out one of the not developmental guys, one of the head writers, as just like didn't care about anything but hitting on developmental women, like like NXT women. Like he just flat out called out some of these creative guys, but he was pretty cordial about the whole thing. He didn't really have a lot of nice things to say about Vince and Hunter, but
I mean, that whole Stardust thing, that was interesting for a little bit, but that got real weird.
You told me that you heard that he pitched that idea. He didn't. He didn't pitch the idea at all.
Well, see, the thing that made
Cody Rhodes is one of those guys, like we were talking about earlier with somebody else, that he's one of those guys who takes whatever he's given and runs with it.
Well, see, like the reason I assume that is because like I watched some sort of E60 thing over professional wrestling, and like Adam Rose, before he was Adam Rose, which he's no longer Adam Rose. Before he became Adam Rose, he had another gimmick in NXT that just wasn't working. So they told him to come up with his own thing and then to try it. And he came up with Adam Rose, and obviously that flopped once it got to the main roster. That was one of those things in like NXT, it worked decently well, but once you got to the main roster, it's like no one cares.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but Cody Rhodes did not come up with the idea of Stardust at all. He didn't like it. He liked tag teaming with his brother.
Yeah.
He didn't like doing it at Stardust, though. But he took it, and he ran with it, because Cody Rhodes is a really good professional wrestler.
He should have been at least a one-time World Heavyweight Champion. At minimum, once.
He should have been one of the top guys.
Easily. He had that feud with Randy.
Yeah.
While he was IC Champion, even though none of those matches were for the IC Championship. That never made any sense to me. Even whenever because that was whenever I was first watching.
What would have happened if they put a mid-card title on Randy Orton?
He's held the Intercontinental title before.
Yeah, but that was before he was a multi-time world champion.
I feel like Randy is like, don't put me in any storylines with mid-card titles anymore. I'd rather just job.
Yeah. He's like, I'd rather be in the mid-card, but not win a mid-card title.
Which, okay, let's talk about that for a second. When Randy comes back, and Cena comes back, and, Rollins is back, and Wyatt's going to be coming back, who gets buried on the Raw card until...
Well, that's what we're talking about. Like, that's why this brand split thing is happening.
Yeah.
Which is the next topic. They're going to split the brands again. And they're going to have separate rosters, separate storylines, hopefully separate major titles.
See, there was an idea that I guess Daniel Bryan at one point pitched to Vince is to split the rosters and make the IC title the main title on SmackDown. And have the
Nobody's going to buy that, though, because the IC title has been the minor title for, 50 years.
What they'll probably end up doing is putting either the US or the IC title over on SmackDown. And then having the WWE World Heavyweight Championship bounce back and forth between the two shows. That's
what they did with the old Undisputed title back when they first did the brand split in 2002.
Yeah.
Is that at the time, who was the Undisputed Champion? I think it was...
Does that mean we can get the...
It was Triple H, I believe. Triple H would go back and forth. He would work Raw and SmackDown.
Can we go back and get the red ropes on Raw and the blue ropes?
That's what I was hoping. I hope they go back to the old aesthetics, which was the blue ropes, silver aprons for SmackDown. I always liked that.
And the black ropes at pay-per-views.
Well, sometimes because I doubt they're going to go back to split pay-per-views.
I highly doubt they do, because that would put certain titles not being defended for 2 months.
And that would also make really hard. road schedules.
And if they are bringing back the Cruiserweight title, like, they have to realize that no one gives a crap about SmackDown right now.
Yeah.
They have to realize that, which is why...
I haven't watched an episode of SmackDown in, like, 4 months.
The only thing I remember about SmackDown, like, the most recent one I've watched, was Wade Barrett throwing Randy Orton down a flight of stairs. And that was, like, right as I began watching. Because I watched SmackDown for, like, the first 3 or 4 months that I watched wrestling, and then I was like, this kind of blows.
But, like, the rosters are going to have their own superstars. They're going to have... SmackDown's actually going to be live.
No piped-in crowd noise, hopefully.
It's going to be live on Tuesdays. On Tuesdays. Which means there's 3 straight days where there's WWE programming on.
But not 3 live.
Not 3 live, but there's still 3 straight days of WWE programming. Raw on Monday, SmackDown Tuesday, NXT on Wednesday.
Main event is on Thursday.
4 straight days.
Just nothing on Friday.
Because I remember back when I used to watch... this was back in, like, 2007. Back when TNA was good.
Oh, wait, is main event Friday? Because they wouldn't have had SmackDown and main event on the same day.
It would probably be Friday then. Because it used to be, whenever, back in 2007, when TNA was actually good, it would be Raw on Monday, ECW on Tuesday, nothing on Wednesday. You'd have Wednesday off. Impact on Thursday,
and
Friday SmackDown on Friday, and then once a week, and then like once a month, you'd have a pay-per-view on Sunday. So there would be like 2 or 3 days a week where there wasn't wrestling on.
Yeah.
That was the dream, especially when ECW was good. Back when guys like CM Punk were debuting.
Yeah, when they let Paul Heyman write it.
When they let Paul Heyman do whatever the fuck he wanted.
And then they put Shane McMahon on it, and it just kind of went.
Seems like almost everything Shane McMahon touches like dies.
Except Raw.
Except Raw now.
Like, I don't know.
It'll die eventually.
That Japanese phone company he started really helped him understand how to book professional wrestling.
And Mike Adamle will take over Raw once again.
Does that mean on SmackDown we're getting a live Mauro Ranallo, or however you say his name?
Who?
It's some dude on SmackDown who actually is like calling moves. Like he's like the play-by-play guy.
I have no idea who that guy is. I've
But
never heard him a day in my life because I don't watch SmackDown.
He's a decent announcer. I want him and Graves. I want Corey Graves on the main like commentary team. Can we kick Byron Saxton off and get Graves?
I don't like the 3-man commentary team.
So kick JBL and Byron off and bring up Graves?
Yeah. I like JBL, but you know.
Make JBL the SmackDown general manager.
I like JBL. I like JBL as a general manager. That's like the same thing as like having Kurt Angle when Kurt Angle was the GM of SmackDown.
Yeah.
In like 2006.
So we already discussed that SmackDown's going live, and they did say in like the press release that there is going to be like a mock draft, or not a mock draft. We're going to do a mock draft. That there is going to be a draft.
Yeah, I really hope it's like the 2002 draft.
Yeah.
Where it was between Vince McMahon and Ric Flair, and they alternated picks and all that.
Yeah. What they'll probably do is put Shane on one brand, Steph on the other, and then
they'll draft.
Yeah. And I'm assuming...
I'm hoping to God it's not the freaking random draft. That's so garbage.
I'm thinking Shane gets SmackDown, because Shane does have those other companies he has to run, so he could fly in once a week, do that, and then just leave.
Because really, the GM position means nothing. Like
they could film a bunch of that stuff in advance,
like,
and then
business-wise, the GM position is really, they're just a character.
Yeah.
Like,
but Shane does that character so well.
Mike Adamle didn't actually have any control on Raw in 2007 or 2008.
Like, okay,
Eric Bischoff might have, but
Shane does a great job as the GM character. The Authority would come out, cut a 25-minute promo, give one match on the card, and then leave. Shane comes out, you're fighting, I'm going to the back.
It's like Teddy Long. Except these are singles matches.
It's like you and your tag team, you and your tag team, you're fighting, or you are going one-on-one with the Undertaker.
You heel, you face, you guys team.
Yeah, that was my biggest, is they'd always team up like Owens and Zayn.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't an actual team that they made, but like that's something that he would do. I mean, Shane and Steph did that, but...
But I left this little blank spot in between our last 2 topics.
I forgot about that, so we'll go back to the draft.
I want to talk about some things. Have you seen Matt Hardy's hair?
I just touched your Xbox again.
Have you seen Matt Hardy's hair?
No.
I'm going to look this up. I'm probably going to put a picture up.
You're not going to rememly
I hopefully
We're
I
an
will.
hour and 9 in.
Matt
You are
Hardy
not gonna remember.
has this weird hairstyle now.
Does he have the AJ Styles hair?
He still has long hair.
Is it Shinsuke Nakamura hair?
No.
Where it's like cut off on one side?
I gotta find Matt Hardy. Oh, there he is. There's his Facebook post. All right, I'm showing it to you now. He looks like a fucking vampire.
Okay, Willow.
Yeah! He's got like this white streak in his hair, and like his hair's all weird. That's one of the things I want to talk about.
Welcome to the Brood.
Yeah. Matt Hardy looks fucking weird.
Is he still champion, or is that...
No, Drew Galloway has been
Luke
champion.
Gallows?
Yeah. You actually called him Luke Gallows at one time.
I think I called him Gallows.
That's what I said.
I think I called him Drew Gallows, though.
But he was Drew McIntyre in the WWE, one-time Intercontinental Champion.
And was immediately buried after being put on three-man band with...
3MB, yeah. Heath Slater and, was it Curtis Axel?
No, Jinder Mahal.
Jinder Mahal.
The super racist gimmick.
Jinder Mahal.
That gimmick... Can we have a person that's from another country but not have a stereotypically racist theme song?
You didn't like Muhammad Hassan?
That song that he had was the most racist thing I think I've ever heard. Oh, you know what? No, second most racist. Kali's was pretty 10 racist. Times worse.
Kali was pretty... Kali's, like, his gimmick wasn't racist, but his gimmick was, I'm pretty sure, was just him.
And he's apparently, like, a horrible wrestler.
He is, dude. Almost all those big guys, except for, like, Kane and the Big Show, are just horrible.
Taker.
Well, Taker's not 500 pounds.
That's true.
Kane is, like, 7'1", 350. The Undertaker's, like, 6'11", like, 280.
And Cass is a pretty big wrestler. I mean, he's not, like, Big Show big, but he's tall.
I was hoping he wouldn't like, suffer from the Test disease, which Test couldn't really wrestle either. And another wrestler who's dead, Test.
We're going to fit them all into this podcast.
Shit.
Eddie Guerrero. We already mentioned Benoit. You mentioned
China.
Test. China. Macho Man. Ric Flair.
He's going to die tonight.
I said Ric Flair, but I said Macho Man and then Randy Savage. Like, that was going to be... Like, I was going to count that as two people.
Oh, yeah, I remember Macho Man, then I remember Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan's career.
And then we had Hot Rod, and then Roddy and Piper. That's three people right there. Oh, I forgot Rowdy. That's four.
And then the only other thing I wanted to talk about in this little split was CM Punk is apparently not progressing well in his MMA training.
You know, now that you look back on all this stuff, I think it was a gimmick signing.
It might have been.
I think they signed it based on CM Punk's name alone because they're not using Phil Brooks. No one knows who that is.
Nobody knows who Phil Brooks is.
They're using the name CM Punk. Like, that's what he's being billed at and everything.
If you look in the game, there's no Phil Brooks anywhere in the game. In the UFC 2.
It's just CM Punk.
It's CM Punk.
So I think it was 100% a gimmick signing. And my favorite thing is how Dana Brooke will constantly just talk crap about the WWE.
Dana White?
What'd I say?
You said Dana Brooke?
Same thing. She's garbage. So we have Dana White, who constantly talks crap about the WWE, but then has no problem bringing in CM Punk, who, as of right now, looks like a gimmick signing.
Well, he brought in Brock Lesnar too, but then Brock Lesnar dominated for 14 straight fights.
Yeah, but that's the thing, is like he constantly like tries to compare the two. It's like you don't have a problem cashing in on Brock Lesnar. Like that first fight sold tickets because it was Brock Lesnar. He was in the WWE. He was a WWE champion. That's why that first fight sold tickets, and after that it just was Lesnar. I mean,
he could have pulled the trigger on like Bobby Lashley, who was going to MMA. He was in Strikeforce for like a year. I don't even think he fought.
But see, the thing is, like Lashley like wasn't a huge name. Punk is a huge wrestling name. Obviously, Lesnar was a massive wrestling name, and it's just kind of ridiculous. Like I think Punk will be back in WWE in 2 years.
Batista was going to go into MMA. Dana White didn't go after Batista. Batista was a huge name.
I mean, hasn't Dana White known Punk for a while, though?
I think so. I
think him and Punk have known each other. And I talked to one of our friends that watches more MMA and UFC than we do, which, you know, probably who I'm talking about. But he was saying that I pulled up the guy who Punk's training with, and I don't remember his name, but he said he was a really good trainer. But if he's not progressing well, I don't think Punk's going to get in that octagon without knowing he at least stands a chance.
No, I know who CM Punk is. CM Punk's going to do at least one fight.
So you think he goes in, gets whooped, goes crawling back to Vince? Or do you think he goes crawling to ROH?
He might just retire.
He
He could just retire. He might not have CTE like everybody else does.
I wish AJ would come back. AJ Lee would come back into the new women's division. Because even if I think she was thrown in like today, she probably, like, as good as wrestlers there are, I think AJ was easily the best women's wrestler we'd had in a long time. Probably since Lita.
I just hated divas wrestling in general because they weren't wrestling. They were catfights.
AJ was the only one who wrestled.
Yeah.
She had a submission finisher.
Yeah. Like, everybody else were just, like, pretty faces with big boobs. That's what the divas division was.
Exactly. Especially, like, whenever they brought in, like, it was Caitlyn, Kelly, like, all the models that they brought in. Like, the only two, like, legit wrestlers on the roster at one point were Layla and AJ. Like, that was it. Or, I mean, I guess you also had, I don't remember her name, Beth Phoenix. And then you had Karma there for a little bit.
We need more women wrestlers who can enter a Royal Rumble.
Have you watched Nia Jax?
No.
She's a woman she's a woman.
She's a woman.
She is a woman.
She is a woman. Confirmed.
She's a woman down in NXT, and she's like big.
But
she's not muscle. She's more like fat.
Like Karma? Like kind of Karma kind of big?
Yeah, but she's also The Rock's cousin.
Oh God. Or Awesome Kong.
His reaction was like, "Oh my God, like another one."
Another one of these.
Another one that's gonna be his gimmick.
Can I see a Samoan who isn't in some way, shape, or form related to The Rock?
No. Roman is the closest thing we have because he's not actually like physically related to The Rock. Like their dads are like blood brothers or something.
Yeah.
Which in Samoan like religion, you're related.
I actually didn't know that Soulman Rocky Johnson was still alive.
Who?
Soulman Rocky Johnson? Dwayne Johnson's father?
He's still alive?
Yeah. Peter Maivia's dead, though, which is his grandfather.
Rocky Maivia?
High Chief Peter Maivia.
What if The Rock had pulled off the Rocky Maivia thing, and we had never known
we never knew it was The Rock?
He was just Rocky Maivia.
No.
Though imagine all the situations that The Rock was in is Rocky Maivia.
Have you not seen the chance for die, Rocky, die?
Was he heel or face during that whole thing?
I think he was supposed to be a face, but people just hated him. Like, die, Rocky, die. Die, Rocky, die.
And then they've asked The Rock about that since then. And like he said, well, I was booed at the beginning of mine. It's like, the thing is, they realized, hey, you're getting booed. Well, let's repackage you.
At least they don't want Roman to die.
Are you sure? Have you read the internet comments?
They're not chanting "Die Roman, die."
After Rollins tore his ACL, someone said like, "Please take Roman instead" or something like that. It's like, good God, guys! Like, really?
I wish they would like. I wish the audience would chant like "Kill Owens, kill," because that was Kevin Steen's thing.
They do the ole, 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 ole.
I know they do that thing for Sami Zayn, but they'll do like a "Kill Owens, kill." It's "Fight Owens, fight," which is stupid. It's PG.
They don't even chant that.
They don't even chant that. I do want that T-shirt though.
I do too. The one he's wearing now, the one that just says "Fight Owens, fight."
Yeah.
Because he has that one on now that says like prize fighter, like KO.
I want all of them.
Can I get one without something on the back? I don't want anything on the back. Like, whenever it says like "Fight Owens, fight," and then it'll say on the back like something stupid.
Yeah.
Like, I just want the back to be blank, please. Like, can I custom order or just get a? Like, I'll pay an extra $5 if I can just get the back of the shirt blank.
I think since we're kind of running long on time, we should each get like 10 picks in this mock draft. Or something like that.
So we'll go 10 people. So you're gonna need to keep track on like a notepad or something. I mean, you got that notepad right there.
Oh yeah, I guess I do.
He doesn't know what we're doing here.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. So, have we decided who's gonna be Raw and who's gonna be SmackDown?
I guess you said you wanted Raw, so.
Yeah. So, first pick, I'm taking Seth Rollins. And then, like, obviously they'll probably draft, like, a huge chunk of the roster. Or what they could do is just, like, they have the, like, main roster right now. What they'll probably just do is, like, they'll just, like, 15 people from SmackDown, take them. Or maybe they'll have, like, Raw, like, protect some guys. Like, you know, Cena, Reigns,
I guess, Rollins. Like, right now, I guess you would have to also say you can't draft the WWE World Heavyweight Champion because he's going to be on both shows either way.
And I would say we just don't draft champions right now. At all. I mean, like, okay, if you draft The Miz, then I'm automatically getting Rusev. Like, you can't draft The Miz and Rusev. Like, and The New Day. Like, you can't have all the titles over on SmackDown.
I mean, the New Day probably aren't going to get drafted because there's only one tag title.
So they'll probably bounce back and forth between 2 shows, which I'm cool with. I'm cool with seeing more New Day.
I am going to take Kevin Owens.
Okay.
Kevin Owens.
Just so I know you don't get him, I want him. I'm going to take AJ. Taking AJ Styles, the 2nd overall pick. Or, I guess, technically 3rd overall pick.
I guess since you took one Shield member, I'll take Dean Ambrose.
I hate you. I will take... Fine, you want to take part of what I was going to build as a rival? I'm going to take Sami Zayn. I probably could have taken way better people than Sami Zayn. There's no E. Z-A-Y in it.
God damn it.
What?
How did that happen?
You pressed the wrong button. That's how it happened.
Your mom pressed the wrong button.
What? You being rude right now?
Really, now that you think about it, there's not really all that much main card talent. Let's not forget about the women's. I'll take Natty.
Okay, I'm gonna forget about the women. I mean, I might.
Fine. Whenever you have a sausage fest roster, remember who has the best roster.
I'm taking Enzo and Cass because I want to keep them on the Raw.
I guess if you're gonna take into account, I will take the VOD villains.
Okay, you're gonna take VOD villains.
Because we both get the New Day, so and odd villains.
I just immediately started laughing once you typed in odd villains.
Odd villains.
Give me. I don't really know. Like, do we want to split up the women's division?
Well, I mean, there's only one women's championship.
So they'll bounce back and forth.
They'll bounce back and forth.
Okay.
Unless they bring back the Divas title.
Actually, I want Cesaro. I'm going to have the best Intercontinental title picture you've ever seen. I'm going to put Cass in it. I'm going to put Enzo in the Intercontinental title picture. Cass is going to get the World Championship. Enzo's going to get the Intercontinental. Then they're both going to hold tag team. All the gold. And then once Carmella comes in, she's going to get the women's.
You know what? Since I think I can book him right, I'm going to take Apollo Crews.
Really? I'll tell you right now, you could have got him as an undrafted free agent. I wouldn't have even thought about taking him. How many picks is that? Is that 5 each?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's 5 each.
Okay, so...
Might have to cut it short here soon because there's really not that many draftable talents.
Cool. I take Cena.
Damn, dude.
I didn't Cena fall this far.
Because we're thinking about new era guys.
Yeah.
I guess I'll take...
Don't do it.
I'm going to take Bray Wyatt.
Oh, okay.
Or you know what? Since we're doing teams, Wyatt family.
Okay. Thought you were about to back up and take the dude I want to take next.
No. You're going to take Orton.
No. I was going to until you guessed it. I will take...
I mean, if you don't, I will, so...
I mean, do you really want... You don't even like Orton. Can I bring
You
back...
got Cena!
Can I bring back Barrett?
No.
Can I redraft Wade Barrett? So I got Cena. There's my top star.
Well, you also have Seth Rollins and AJ Styles.
Yeah, I got a lot of... I'll take the club. Which I'm including Balor in the club, by the way. Because that's my booking.
But he's not on the main roster.
You can't take Balor. You're not allowed to take Balor.
We couldn't anyway because he's not on the main roster.
I'm going to take Shinsuke.
This is all main roster talent.
Shinsuke's better than like over half the people on the main roster, so I'm going to take Shinsuke.
I'm going to take Zack Ryder now.
Is he technically... I mean, he's in a tag team down there.
I mean, he just lost the Intercontinental title like a month ago, so...
But he's been in a tag team on NXT for a while. The Hype Bros or whatever.
But he won a main card title.
Then lost the next night.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll take Orton.
Okay. I want Kalisto.
I was thinking Kalisto, and I was like, oh yeah, I was gonna take Orton.
Yeah,
How the fuck do you spell his name? Is that
right
it?
there.
Oh, okay.
I believe that's 8 for me and 7 for you. Unless you want to recount that.
Who else should I take? Give me...
I mean, you could take Sin Cara.
I was thinking about that, but... do I really want Hunico?
Do you want the Shining Stars? who are not even on Raw.
Yeah.
They are immediately off the card. Like, I like that. Like, creative, like, oh, they got no reaction. Done.
Give me. I guess give me. All that's left are like tag teams.
Not really. I can think of a few main stars right off the bat.
Give me Chris Jericho.
Fine, you want to take a part-timer? I'm taking a part-timer. I want Lesnar.
I was gonna say you want to take Brock Lesnar.
Okay, count those again.
Hold on.
Brock.
Brock
Lesnar.
I'm spelling it Heyman style.
We're kind of running out of people.
That's what I was saying. Like all that's left are like there's a couple tag teams.
I mean, there's still. Man, 10 was a bad choice. We should have done 5.
Right?
Because at 5, I was kind of struggling. This is hard.
You can also take the Undertaker.
Dude, your pick. I just chose Lesnar. If you want to take Taker, go ahead.
Crap. Can't take Rusev. He's a champion. Can't take Miz. He's a champion. Can't take the fucking New Day. They're champions. Since only 2 can be a tag team, can I take the third member? Since it only takes 2 to be a tag team.
Who you want to take?
That's
Big
a loophole.
Or you want to take Big E or something away?
I could. Or I could take Xavier Woods. I could take Kofi.
Just draft a New Day.
I can't. They're champions.
Fine. Take Big E. I don't care. I
I
know who you're taking. I know you're taking Big E.
I'm taking Big E Langston.
You're a Big E fanboy. That's what you are.
Look, I even spell his full name even though they don't call him Big E Langston anymore.
Okay, this is pick 10. And with the final pick, I am going to take...
Zack Ryder.
No.
Oh, radio. Tell me everything you know.
You need to stop. You notice no one from the freaking
No.
League of Nations has been taken?
Sheamus is still up there. Berto's still up there.
Sheamus and Berto are still there, but Berto's dating Paige, so not happening. So salty about that. Actually, you know what? Give me Paige.
Is that your only diva?
You only have Natty.
But I took her early on. See? I took her with my third pick.
Yeah, but you'll take Paige if I don't.
Well, I mean, do I get one more pick? Or?
Yeah.
Or that's it?
Yeah,
Okay.
you pick second. Because I took Rollins, because I knew you would take Rollins with your
Well, then I
first
guess give me Del Rio.
Alberto Del
I
screwed that up so bad.
I was going to take Del Rio or Sheamus.
Do you like Sheamus?
I like Sheamus.
So I guess that's it for this.
I guess. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this podcast. I know that mock draft went on a little long.
Mock draft went... Actually, it didn't go on as long as I thought. We started at like 1:15 for it, 1:09, something like that.
This whole podcast went on longer than I thought.
But me and you can ramble. Like, we could probably sit here and ramble for another 2 hours over wrestling. Like, I don't even know that much about wrestling, but I could sit here and ramble for 2 hours about it.
But this went well. Hopefully this keeps going well. We keep having more to talk about.
Yeah.
Shit seems to hit the fan every week now.
People keep leaving, and then... Well,
keep leaving and returning.
I mean, if Punk wants to return, that'd be great.
I mean, if anybody could come and save this freaking roster, come save this card, that'd be great.
It would be China.
If Bray Wyatt could hurry the hell up.
Why, so he can go back to being buried?
No, because they're going to bring him back. People are going to love him, and then he's going to lose.
I mean, he's going to get a big pop like Sandow did,
yeah.
and then was immediately released. Like, oh, no, he's too over. Get rid of him.
I feel like that's what happened to Cesaro, so he got hurt, quote unquote. He didn't actually get hurt. He's not actually hurt. That tape is just a sham.
He was out for like 6 months. He wasn't actually... They just gave him 6 months off.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Apparently Kofi's going to be getting more time off to spend with his baby.
He's going to turn. No, Big E's going to turn and injure Kofi. Injure. I did air quotes for everyone that can't pick that up.
Well, I think that's all we have for this week, guys. Hopefully we'll be back next week if we can get this together well.
I think we can.
Hopefully this podcast gets over.
Now we're jobbers.